Hello guys, and welcome back to the Vape Fold. Today we are going to be reviewing the Tugboat RDA, and we're going to go ahead and break it down and actually put a coil build and wick it on screen for you guys so you can kind of see how it all works, how it comes together, along with some thoughts that I have on this specific RDA. So I'm really excited about this because this is what I use to pretty much drip every single day. Let's get right into it. Alright guys, so go ahead and excuse the mess, but this is the Tugboat RDA, and I'm going to go ahead and pull it apart here so you guys can kind of see exactly how everything works. First thing I'll do is I'll take off the actual drip tip. This is a copper RDA, and this is the RDA well, and it's a 3-post design, and I believe it's made out of stainless steel, so it won't rust or anything like that. And I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a little bit more of a close-up of this. So as you guys can see there, it's got 3 different prongs, totally good for a single coil or a dual coil build. Now let's go ahead and talk about this device a little bit. As I said, it is made out of copper, that way it matches my Overdose copper clone mod. I have 2 coils here. These are pre-built coils, and the reason I'm using those is because I don't want to waste your guys' time by building a bunch of coils on screen when it's just not really needed. So first thing guys is I'm going to go ahead and put the drip tip back on. It's a really sexy looking RDA. I hope you guys can see this, but on the actual drip tip it actually has the Tugboat logo along with the serial number of this, and then on the actual RDA drip itself, it actually has the Tugboat logo along with the American flag on the other side. It has 2 airflows, one on each side. I couldn't tell you the exact size, but it's just big enough for me to fit my screwdriver into, so it's not that large of a hole. However, we're only going to be building a 0.6 to 0.3 ohm, somewhere in that range, using these pre-built coils, because sometimes they're a little fidgety and they're a little bit off. But that's okay because this is not, to like cloud chase or anything like that. It's just to get some good flavor out of it. And so that's what we're going to do. Now, one thing I really like about this well is how deep it is. This thing has got a crazy deep well on it. And when you're dripping, keeping your liquid on the wick and for the coils is essential really, because otherwise you'll get a lot of dry burns. And the flavor just isn't really there. So this is a really great well. I want to say right now before we go any further that from all the RDAs that I've tried, and I've tried quite a few, this is by far my favorite one so far. I pretty much will not even buy another RDA unless it's a deep well. I am going to review some other ones that I already purchased, like the Plume Veil and stuff like that. However, deep well is definitely the way to go, especially if you're lazy like me and you don't want to be fidgeting with these things like all the time. So let's go ahead and put this thing together. Didn't mean to drop it. Let's go ahead and put this thing together. Alright guys, so after you have your coils built on the inside, it's time to start wicking it. But right before you do, what you want to do is install this onto a mechanical mod so that you can actually dry burn these coils to make sure that they are lighting from the inside out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take off this other atomizer on my mod, and then I'm going to go ahead and install this one. They're both 510 connections, so it shouldn't be a big deal. And then you want to fire it and make sure that they are both firing from the middle out. And let me go ahead and focus the camera so you guys can see that a little bit better. That's looking pretty good. So from that point we can actually go ahead and wick these coils now. And I already have some cotton here, and I had already unfolded it before. It's not that hard to do. As you can see here, I have 2 separate pieces of cotton, and you just kind of want to pull them apart a little bit. And this will be my first one. And it doesn't have to be perfect or anything, it just needs to be, to be able to pull it through. So you want to get one end of it, let's get rid of that, one end of it down into a point like so, And then you want to feed it through your coil. Something along these lines here will work pretty good. And now I want to take those and I just kind of want to tuck them around and down and in like so. So now that we have our, let me give you guys a little close up. Now that we have the cotton all in there around our coils, there you go. We want to actually go ahead and get this ready for the maximum flavor. So what we want to do is we want to take our juice and we simply want to sprinkle it from the top down and do the best that we can to get full coverage of the wick that is now in this well. And it's going to soak it up slowly at first, but then as you use it more, it'll start soaking it up, faster and faster and faster. So just kind of, apply it liberally as you can, starting out, and then as it gets, more used to, no, don't drip down the side. And I ended up getting some liquid down the side, but that's okay. So you just want to kind of soak it in the liquid the best you can. Remember that you're putting a lot more on this than you actually need because of that deep well. But it'll work pretty good. So then you want to go ahead and engage the mod, and you want to dry fire it a couple of times. And that gets the liquid down further into the cotton, and then you can go back and put some more on the top of the wick or the cotton. And let that soak down in, and then you're ready to vape, guys. And that's the Tugboat RDA once again. Really love this device. I think it's the best RDA you can get for the price right now. It's pretty cheap. I got mine for like 30 bucks at a local shop. So definitely worth the money. And you can see here I got this on my Black Hawk, which I'll be doing a review on. Alright guys, so we just completed the build for the Tugboat RDA. This thing works awesome, and I'm going to go ahead and take a couple of vapes on it and show you guys the amount of vapor you can produce out of this with the airflow that is already there on a 0.6 ohm build. Chucking clouds for days with awesome flavor. Best vapor of any RDA I've tried so far. This is by far my favorite RDA. I will say that the only thing is that it actually doesn't read on the ohm builder anymore. I think there's an issue with the 510 connection on it, so I'm going to have to get a new one of those. I can't remember if it's I think it's the actual atomizer that has the 510 connection on it. But other than that, and I already know what these specific coils are built at because I built these myself on another device and then transferred them over, and that's why I know that this is at a 0.6 ohm build. And like I said, it really does chuck the flavor like nobody's business. So not only that, but the flavor lasts a long time. I can get maybe 10, 12, 13, 14, sometimes more pulls on this before I got to refill it. So the flavor's there, and this is a good RDA. I give it a thumbs up, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of The Vape Fold. If you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and also like the video and comment down below to let me know, and I will see you guys next time on The Vape Fold.